Eric, thank you for being with us. What is your take on this situation?
Well, first of all, I got to say this here. I just came from Mexico City.
Yeah, okay.
The high altitude.
Oh, Lord.
High altitude. You know I want that race now.
Oh, you've been training, huh?
You got it.
You just couldn't help yourself.
I can't help it. Skip, I'm going to get him.
All right.
I'm going to get him.
You're saying you were training in high altitude?
I was out there training.
Because you're going to race in Denver? Is that what you're doing?
My win will be longer.
Okay. Okay.
You know what? I'll say this. I've talked to T.O. about this. You know, T.O. and I were friends. I talked to him last week about it. And I told him, my opinion, and I said it's my opinion, that he should go. And you know what? But T.O.'s a grown man. You know, either way, I'm going to support my friend either way.
Right.
You know, I feel like that this problem was started really by the sports writers. It really was. T.O., with no doubt, was the first ballot Hall of Famer. I mean, it's no doubt he was. I mean, and I asked him this question. I said, don't lie to me. I said, if you would have been a first balloter, would you have win? Yeah, I'd win.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly. I said, so it doesn't make a difference. I'll tell you a story. Matter of fact, it's a writer that told me this. He says, when I went in, he says, Eric, he says, I just want to tell you, you would have been a unanimous decision, but one guy wouldn't vote for you. Wow. And he said, I'm going to tell you why. Because you held out. That's it, because I held out. Now, that goes to show you right there.
They're biased.
They're very biased. And it's unfair. I mean, there's so many guys that I really believe that deserve that nod. And for reasons unbeknown to us, but to them, you know, they are going to keep them out. And I just think this is a major problem. I mean, this should be on the players, the true Hall of Famers, some of the guys that played with these guys, that played against them. Like, you know who can play as a player. You know who can play. And then you look at some of the guys and you're like, wow, he made it in, first ballot. Okay. And it's no disrespect to them because you're in now.
Right.
You're in. So my opinion is that I wish he would go. I know he's not. And like I say, I think this was started because of the sports writers.
Well, you know I've had the same conversation. I asked the very same thing, and so you know I talked to T.O., and I'm very close to T.O., and I've gotten to know him over the couple of years. And I just told him, like I said, as you said, E.D., he's a grown man. And I said, this is your decision. I said, I just hope one day you don't wake up and regret that you didn't give that speech on that stage for that moment. But he put the Hall in a very tough spot. I don't really know what the Hall can do. T.O.'s deceased, we get that. But there's no presenter that's going to be there. There's no inductee that's going to be there. So what do we show? I mean, what are we acknowledging? I mean, T.O. could come, but T.O. doesn't want to come. He wants the day to himself at UT. Okay, but when he's at UT, you think he's going to mention Randy? He's going to mention any of the other guys that's going in? No, he wants that moment to himself, so let him have his moment. I really don't know what people expect the Hall of Fame to do. And like I said, his anger is misguided. He's upset at the Hall, but it's the writers. The Hall don't vote for you. It's the writers that are selected that vote for people into the Hall. All the Hall of Fame does is they give you the platform to have your speech, and they house your bus. That's all they do, E.D.
That's it. I agree. That's all they do. It's not their fault. It's not David Baker's fault.
Yeah, it's not David Baker's fault. That's where E.D.'s 2105 jersey and the helmet and his cleats, that's where all that stuff is. That's the only thing. And so I just wish T.O. would go also. But as I talked to him 2 weeks ago, and he made it abundantly clear that he was very comfortable with his decision and that he would not be going and he was going to have it at UT. I was like, okay, I'm going to leave it alone. I support you, whatever you do. I don't agree with it.
Yep.
I'm disappointed in you, T.O., but that's your decision. Have at it. But I don't really know what he expects the Hall to do.
Exactly.
So, I am not close to Terrell Owens, and I have not spoken to Terrell Owens about this process. But I have spent a good deal of time around him on TV shows, both here and in Bristol, Connecticut. And I did cover his 49er team, and I have a pretty good feel for this situation, and I think for him. The process is flawed. We've all known it's been flawed, and there have been many, many victims before T.O. of the flawed process that took 3 times, 4 times, 5 times, 6 times to get in. Shannon Sharpe can make a strong case he should have been a first ballot Hall of Famer, and it hurt him to his soul that he had to go through two times. 2 huge disappointment days where it's shameful. It's just hard. It just tears you up, right?
Yeah.
Those are hard days.
Because you're asking, if I'd caught 20 more passes, if I'd have had 2 more touchdowns, I'm asking myself, what could I have done? Because if you didn't like 8-15, Skip, it's not like I could add to those numbers. So if you didn't like my numbers that year, what makes you think you're going to like them more the next year?
2 years later.
Exactly. So Another thing.
310 people men in this Hall of Fame.
Yes.
And this is the greatest of all the halls to me. It's the most hallowed hall because it's just so hard to get in. There's the baseball hall. I have great respect for it. The basketball hall, a lot of people get in. I think don't belong. It seems like everybody gets in the basketball hall, and I don't really know the hockey hall that well. But this is the one for me as an NFL fan. I put it up on the highest pedestal. So the point is, of those 310 who are now enshrined, more often than not, they had to wait through multiple ballots.
Oh, yeah.
It happens.
Yeah.
Chris Carter had to wait six times.
Yeah.
3 times. We can go down it's a long list. Why should Terrell be any different? Do you feel like you got done wrong by the sports writers? I guess you still do, but finally, at some point, when you get enshrined, you just have to give it up.
Here's the thing, ED. Let me ask you this.
Okay.
I think it also has to do with the other receiver that's going in on the first ballot, because they are the 2 best in their generations. They're compared. Because when you go back and forth, it's okay, Jerry's number 1. Okay, well, who's 2 and 3? More times than not, it's Terrell Owens, it's Randy Moss. Right. It's Randy Moss, Terrell Owens. T.O. is looking at it like, hold on, wait a minute. I was every bit of the player that Randy was, and he was. Randy should have been a first ballot Hall of Famer. He is. T.O. should have been a first ballot Hall of Famer. He wasn't. I'm not so sure if Randy had not gotten in on the first ballot and T.O. had gotten in this time and Randy had to wait a year. I wouldn't be surprised if T.O. had showed up.
No, I don't. No, it has nothing to do with that. It really comes down to that first ballot. I mean, it really does. And I asked him about it, and I agree with you with what you said. Is that I told him this. I said, T.O., I said, now, I'm going to tell you this. I said, I may be dead and gone. You may be 70 years old, but one day you're going to be sitting somewhere and you say, man, you know what? I really do wish I'd win. And you may never say it to somebody else,
with
but
you.
in your heart of hearts.
You were right.
I told him, and I think about him is, he received it. He said, that's possible. But I'm going to do it like this. And I have to respect that.
The anger is just so...
He's hurt.
The thing is, you know T.O. T.O. feels like if someone has ever done him wrong, T.O. will never let you live it down. He's never going to come back into the flock, ED.
No, you're right about that.
Okay, now let's flip it around and take it from the perspective of this Hall of Fame that you guys are members of.
Right.
I'm a little surprised to the point of being shocked that the Hall didn't say, well, okay, let's at least introduce him. Let's show a montage. I don't know, let's let Eric Dickerson say just a few words about his friend Terrell Owens. Just something to acknowledge. It could be brief, but just part of the program, right?
But let me tell you what you run the risk of. Because everybody there, he's not there. They show that montage, and those fans start booing. Because he didn't show up. Because, like I said, that's the first time in the history of Hall of Fame that a player is living, that's not incapacitated, refused to be acknowledged at the ceremony. So, just like they booed Commissioner, there's a possibility. You know this now.
I do now. I do agree with that. That is a possibility if he doesn't.
I also think there's a distinct possibility that the man who runs the Hall of Fame went to some of the veteran members.
Oh, yeah.
The living veteran members.
Absolutely.
And said, what do you think? And they said, you know what? If he's out on us, we are out completely on him.
Yeah, I mean,
right?
Some of the older guys probably did do it.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I'm sure they did. But I'll say this for the end for T.O. For me, if I started a team, would I want T.O. on my team? Would I want that dog in my... It's like, you want some guys that go out and punch you in the mouth. You know, may say something, yell at the referee, throw his flag back at it. Not that guy that's like, hey, have a great day. Everything's good. You hit him too hard. Let me help him up off the ground. I want a T.O. on my football.
Oh, absolutely.
I really do. And I just feel like it's a travesty that he's not going to be there.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I got to take issue with this because I watched. I saw it in the locker room. You would not want him in your foxhole. You would not. But I'm going to leave that be because I don't want to pile on anymore because this isn't about that. He is a Hall of Fame. He's going to get his bust, right?
Yes. Oh, absolutely.
Yep. He's not going to get enshrined, but he's going to be a member.
He'll get in the wood one. The gold one goes in the can, but he gets the wooden one. But it's a shame. Like I said, hopefully this doesn't ever happen again. It's too great of a moment, and we're talking about the guy that's not going to be there and why he's not going to be there, and it shouldn't be.
It's unfortunate.
It's a joyous occasion.
It is. But I want to have a slightly different take, and it's really to your point, Skip, which is It's a tragedy that T.O.'s not going to be there. I don't know him at all, but I'm a huge fan of his play in his game, and I agree he should have been a first-round ballot. He wasn't. He's going to get in the Hall of Fame regardless, and I think it'd be great if he was there. But I want to talk about the Hall of Fame, okay? Because to me, what I do know about life is I don't know if it's the right thing to do to let someone else's decision-making impact your decision-making.
Yes.
And what I see here is a Hall of Fame that's saying, well, if you're going to do it that way, T.O., then this is going to be our reaction in turn. And I think it would have been nice, as Skip points out, if they said, well, that's how you feel about it. You don't want to come. You're a grown man. That's your business. But we're going to honor you because that's what we do for our members that make the Hall of Fame. And I think that that would have been the respectful thing for the Hall of Fame.
They're going to honor him.
Yeah.
They're going to put his bust in the Hall of Fame.
No, but
that's the honor.
The montage. But the montage. And the risk of the booing, I understand what you're saying, Shannon. I think that's a risk they should take. Because I think that you don't let
Edie.
Well, they're going to boo now because you said it.
No, I'm just saying. No. They're not going to boo because they're not going to mention his name.
Yeah.
But had they mentioned his name and showed the highlights, because you know when they call your name, you normally stand up. You start walking to that podium, they're playing your highlights in the back. They play his highlight. There's no presenter. There's no T.O. walking towards that microphone. Edie, you know how to, you know.
I know those football fans.
Yeah.
Football fans. Yeah, they probably going to boo him. But he does, like what you said, he deserves that.